Hey, this is the Fight Nerd here at the Bellator press event here with Michael Chandler. Mr. Chandler, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Nothing better than being out in New York City and getting the opportunity to do some interviews here at Dave & Buster's.
Absolutely. Now, how's your back doing since we've last seen you?
A lot better. I'm a lot more balanced and stronger in a lot more areas where I was deficient in. So, working with a new strength and conditioning coach, Todd Durkin, out in San Diego, and he's really opened my eyes up to a lot of different techniques, a lot of different movements, and a lot of different, just different aspects of my fighting and training career, my body as a whole. So, from head to toe, I'll be a different fighter, more well-rounded, more well-balanced fighter, come later this year.
So we definitely see you improve a lot in the course of a very fast year. So I got to get right to the point here. When are we going to see you back in the Bellator cage?
I don't know. I know this next kind of season is from September to November, so it'd be sometime in there, and I'm hoping it's Will Brooks. So we'll see what happens. I'd like to get that rematch. I'd like to be able to fight him, under a lot better circumstances, and we'll see.
Yeah, let's talk about that Brooks fight now. Have you had a chance to watch that fight again, and what did you think of your performance?
I haven't. I can tell you my performance was not me. It was not very good at all. Tactically, just being able to go out there and perform I wasn't able to do it like I normally do. Everybody knows I like to have my foot on the gas, go 100 miles an hour, get in guys' faces, and I tried to do that to the best of my ability. I just didn't have the gas, or didn't have the training camp to be able to do that. So it's one of those situations where I look back on it. I haven't watched the fight because I know I won't really be able to gain much from it. I'll let my coaches watch it, maybe just to see some things that he does and little tendencies that he has. But as far as my performance, I can't really learn anything about that fight because it wasn't me. So I'm just excited to go back out there and fight 100% and have a good training camp and be able to go out there and put on a show for the fans.
Now, aside from the injury that definitely slowed you down in that fight and caused you a lot of trouble, in terms of when you fought Will Brooks, did he do what you expected him to do regardless?
Yeah. I mean, he's fast. He's athletic. He throws a lot of kicks. He stays on the outside. He doesn't. I have a tendency to force people to make them mix it up with me and get in their face. So I was trying to constantly, control that range and stuff that range that he likes to keep. He's got kind of those long legs and that karate kind of side kick stance. So he was, he performed well that night. He fought a great fight. I still think I won. I think a lot of people think I won as well. Thought I stole that fifth with the knockdown and the, almost submission and the mount. But it's one of those things where you can't leave it in the hands of the judges. I'm in the business of going out there and putting my hands on people and finishing fights. From now on, I always have been. Most of my fights have ended, with a finish, and I just want to continue to do that, put on a show for the fans.
Now, had you not been injured, what do you think you would have done differently in that fight?
I just think I would have been, more composed and able to fight a smarter, more tactical fight rather than going out there and trying to get the win. Most of the time I just go out there and fight hard, but let the fight kind of progress as it's going to, and not force things. For that, for that fight, I had to focus on forcing things, trying to put myself in the best situation possible to win with the cards that I was dealt. Really. So it's one of those situations where I look back and it's all about just rebounding and becoming a better fighter because of that fight. I've really taken a look at my career and taken a look at myself and my performances and I really want to improve upon them, obviously. So I just want to go out there and be that vintage Michael Chandler, get in their face, put my hands on them, and go look for the knockout. If the knockout doesn't come, look for the choke. If the choke doesn't come, figure out a way to get him out of there.
All right, so let me ask you this one last question about this fight with Brooks. Because I remember watching one of your specials that they had on Spike TV, where you talked about your fight with Alvarez, and you said that you think you've broken his spirit during that fight. Was there any point where you felt like that Brooks had made you quit, or that your spirit was broken?
No, I think. I think you look at the last round. Obviously, is 20 to 25 minutes into the fight. I was still coming at him, and I still dropped him, and still almost got the submission, and ended with him out and ground and pound. So, from the first to the 25th minute, I was coming forward. I was trying to, at least to the best of my ability. There was definitely a lull there in the third and fourth round where I was, in a bad situation. Obviously, getting punched and just taking punches. Honestly, because they weren't hurting me. Really, obviously, visually they look like they hurt, but when you're in there, you don't really feel anything. So you kind of you feel almost superhuman. And so I was taking punches just to give myself almost a rest a little bit, and that's really what I had to do for that fight. Not having a training camp like I wanted to, and coming into that fight not 100%. It was a bad situation, but I tried to do the best I could with the situation, and I still think it was a good fight for the fans to watch.
Yeah, it was a great fight to see either way. So let me ask you this then: what do you want more right now? A rematch with Will Brooks or Eddie Alvarez?
I want a rematch with Will Brooks. I think losing the close split decision to Alvarez doesn't sting as bad as losing to Will Brooks. I don't think Will Brooks. Will Brooks is a great fighter. He's very, very talented. He's a young up and comer, and he established himself that night, I think. But I think not being able to fight the way that I want to fight, the way that I've always fought from my first fight all the way till the fight right before that was definitely it stings, and I just want to go out there and be able to prove to the world that I'm still here. I can still run through guys, and I can still finish fights, and that's what I want to do. So I want to fight Will Brooks next, and I'd like it in November-ish.
So is your blood feud with Alvarez now officially over, or do you still want a piece of him at all?
No, of course I do. That's a fight that fans want to see, and I've said it 1,000 times. I respect Eddie a lot. I think Eddie's a good guy, and he's a very, very talented fighter. So I still want that fight. I just like the Will Brooks fight first.
Do you know anything that's happening with Eddie's contract these days? Because it seems like no one really knows what's going on if we're going to see him in Bellator again.
I don't either. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I have no idea.